Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cinemondo podcast with Kathy and Mark and me talking about some trailers. Today, we're going to talk about a trailer.
Yeah, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. No,
you say cuckoo. You say just want to keep saying it and sound like a clock going off.
Yeah.
Cuckoo.
What is it? What is Cuckoo?
Cuckoo is a film directed by Tilman Singer, who's a German director.
Okay.
And I think it's set in Germany, but it's an English language film starring Dan Stevens, who you know from a lot of movies. Jessica
he's
Henwick.
in the new Godzilla movie, Godzilla and Kong, and he's also in Downton Abbey. That's how we know him.
Gotcha.
Oh,
and
was he in Downton Abbey?
He was the main love interest, the blonde guy who was killed in the car wreck. Spoilers.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Spoilers.
He's a good actor. He's really good. Interesting. He always has a kind of menace to him.
That was a sad moment in Downton Abbey. That was like,
it was terrible, so traumatic. Oh my God. He was like a saving grace on that show. He was like kind of this normal guy.
Right.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, also stars Hunter Schafer, who I'm not familiar with, and Jessica Henwick, who was in Game of Thrones and also this film, The Royal Hotel. Cool. So I don't know much about it, but I'm interested to see the trailer. That's what we're here for. Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Here we go. Do that. All right.
Mommy, I want to come home. I want to come home. Getting back.
How was your journey?
Very pleasant. Very pleasant. Thank you.
Gretchen, come say hi.
There he is.
I'm your neighbor. I haven't heard about you. Why would you have heard about me?
How would you like to work for me at the resort?
Oh my God, could you look creepier?
This happens sometimes. You look like you don't belong here.
Why is there nobody working the reception after 10?
I want you to lock the doors and wait for me. I'm gonna come pick you up right now.
Oh, that's creepy.
If I were you, I wouldn't want to get hurt even more.
Why did you bring us here?
Your family belongs here.
That's a fucking weird way to put it.
You told the police that you were chased by a woman.
I think I'm crazy.
Nature is quite remarkable.
It feels so good.
We have to go. Some species need our help. Giving you the chance to be of great use in our quest for preservation. Consider yourself lucky.
Wow. You know what I loved about that? I feel like I was seeing stuff I have not seen before. And I have seen a lot of horror movies. So I feel like I was seeing some fresh shit in that. That was fun.
There's some very nicely, stylishly composed things. Like I love the shadow she sees while she's riding her bike of a hand reaching. It's like, that's a weird time to be threatened.
To see someone who's like running parallel with you.
That always
creepy. That gave me chills. But I like that she's kind of like brash and kind of strong-willed. She seems like she's not really a take shit, wilting flower. I love how she's kind of like, what's happening? Like, I really like that idea for that character.
Maybe a little bit of a Get Out vibe to it, a little bit in a weird way, like maybe just a sense of like being somewhere else and not, I don't know. That had that vibe to me. Not necessarily the same sort of thing, but just being somewhere different and maybe some body horror going on, you know.
I couldn't quite figure out what exactly was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I love the go to a house in the middle of nowhere. That concept to me is one of my favorites. So but then it sounds like it gets a little bigger than that. So it looks like there's a hospital. She's working at a hotel. Like I don't know. It looks like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for it.
There's some kind of experiment that's going on, or
she's
part of some sort of an experiment.
A lot of cutting skin stuff, a lot of showing the pulse on the neck, which was very creepy looking.
Like maybe things aren't what she thinks because she's being drugged or convinced that something's happening that really isn't. And that kind of stuff is always kind of creepy, kind of David Cronenberg-ish and M. Night Shyamalan-ish.
Yeah. I see that. I'm actually living for that shot of Dan Stevens walking into the hallway with a big gun. There's just something about him doing that. It brings me joy.
Right. Oh, he was such a kind person on
so charming.
Downton Abbey, and
now he looks like kind of like a wicked crazy professor.
He's played other. There was a movie called I think he was called The Stranger. He can play that like you know, like that very good looking guy, but has that sort of menace, you know, that you see. And so this looks like a good one. This looks like an interesting kind of bonkers film for sure. You know?
And it looks like it has those. It looks like it's got those big horror movie moments, but it looks like you kind of they're sort of earned by the premise, if that makes any sense. Like it's not just a weird scary monster. It's like there's some reason for it, or some underlying reason for there to be these kinds of over the top moments, over the top fantasy horror surreal moments.
Yeah.
And I don't know the significance of the title either by watching this. Like when I first saw this poster, I thought it was going to be like she goes to a a mental hospital,
right?
And she's got problems, and you don't know what's real or not real. I still don't think. I think jury's out whether that may be part of it, because I don't know. I mean, why is it called Cuckoo? It's like it's kind of a strange. But I like how they put the title on the bandage on her head. That's cool. That's hard to do.
Blood,
and the blood dripping off it. That's pretty cool. It's increasingly twisted, incredibly strange, and deliciously fun. That's a good quote.
Yeah.
Spirit's Call. It says that's the copy. Spirit's Call. But I thought that looked really fun. It looked like it wasn't taking itself too seriously. There was actually some good comedic little moments in it too, which I really like.
And stylish too. Like nicely shot. There were some moments in there, like you were saying, you saw some things you'd feel like you've never seen before. Set pieces are good. Those what they call when they're shooting it, they're like, this is a trailer moment. Like the scene of pushing over those bookcases, the bookshelves, and they fall, and there's that great diagonals of, and
she's like trying to hide
that beautiful house. And there's a thing that you can sense when you see trailers, that someone has a sense of style and visual interest. Like the fact that when you see her in that one scene, she's holding her Fender bass cabinet, like a Fender guitar speaker cabinet that she's holding. And that's just got such an iconic look. So it paints her as someone who would have such a thing. So she's kind of like a rocker girl, I guess. Maybe she has a bass guitar in her room or something. But it's like that's a visual style thing that someone came up with. Let's have her holding a speaker cabinet aimed at the person that she's talking to.
Yeah, that was cool.
Or she's on her own, like she's like that scene where she's sort of looking down at all those people on the patio looking up at her. And then she says, that's a fucking weird way to put it.
It's meant to be here.
It's me against this whole group of people. Like, what's going on? So anyway,
that looked really fun. I'm looking forward to this. It looks good.
Yeah.
Those kind of stories where someone is that you're relating to in the story. Also, as a very visceral component of a lot of my favorite horror films, like, is it me that's going crazy, or is something happening? And I always mention Rosemary's Baby. I think is a great example of that, where that scene where she's in the telephone booth and she's telling her doctor what's happening, and she realizes, I sound cuckoo. I sound like a nut, and that's the kind of story that is really scary, because I think. People like me of limited intelligence have this fear of losing what little brain I have,
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear.
You are crazy. Like, you're basically crazy. That's how.
Well, what if? Yeah, what if you?
I know you don't
started slowly realizing that things are weird, and it's like, are things weird or am I weird?
Yeah, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Well, it looks good.
It does.
Cuckoo coming out May 3rd, so maybe we'll check it out and do a review down the road.
Yeah. Make sure you post in the comments. What do you think this is about? That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
What the hell is this about?
What the hell are we talking about?
It looks good. I know. Horror fans, we're talking to you.
Yeah.
Put in your thoughts down there. All right.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for checking in. See you soon. Don't go cuckoo.
Bye.